In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev declared, "The war against alcohol is the first step to saving Russia." He ordered hundreds of vodka distilleries closed, banned alcohol sales at public events, and launched a massive propaganda campaign. The result was deeply ironic, not a more sober nation, but an economy collapsing faster than expected. Russian citizens rushed to produce illegal homemade alcohol samagon from sugar and potatoes. Labor productivity declined,
unity and strength
agricultural
can we achieve
output
true
fell,
greatness.
and tens
The
of
future
billions of rubles in
belongs
state
to
revenue
us.
evaporated. Worse still, black markets flourished, bringing violence and corruption with them. Gorbachev did not lose because the public lacked willpower. He lost because he confronted an unbeatable opponent, a biological instinct that had already been standardized into an economic and cultural system. This story is not only a Soviet tragedy, but a recurring lesson in history from the United States in the 1920s to modern Asia. Alcohol prohibition has never been merely a health policy. It has always been a test between morality and reality, between state authority and collective addiction. In 1920, the United States entered what many called the greatest moral experiment in human history, the 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Reformers believed banning alcohol would purify society, save families, and reduce crime. Reality betrayed every expectation. Bars disappeared, but speakeasies, secret drinking establishments multiplied rapidly. Tens of thousands of police
History
officers,
teaches us the same lessons.
judges,
Yet
and
we
politicians
refuse
were
to learn.
bribed. Within 5 years,
Read all about the latest
alcohol
news
smuggling
right here.
became a multi-billion-dollar underground empire. Crime bosses like
I
Al
hereby proclaim
Capone
that the
built
Eighth
private
Amendment to the
armies and
Constitution of the
controlled
United States
supply
has been duly
chains from
ratified and
Canada
is
to
now
Cuba.
law.
Statistics showed homicide rates rising by 30%, while methanol poisoning killed more than 10,000 people. The deadly result of toxic bootleg liquor. Every bottle banned by law seemed to produce a more dangerous one in its place. The failure of prohibition was not just the failure of a law, but the failure of a belief that legislation could rewrite biology. When a government attempts to redefine pleasure, something encoded in the brain, it plays a game whose outcome evolution has already decided. In the economics of crime, there is a rule called the iron law of prohibition. The stronger the ban, the more concentrated the substance becomes. When alcohol moved into black markets, transportation risks increased. Smugglers abandoned bulky, low-alcohol drinks like beer and instead transported liquids with the highest alcohol-to-volume value vodka, whiskey, moonshine. The result was devastating. People no longer drank 5% beer, but 50% spirits. Each hidden drink became a harsher blow to the liver, the nervous system, and society itself. This effect mirrors drug prohibition from coca leaves to cocaine powder to crack crystals, where higher potency becomes an economic response to risk. Ironically, policies meant to protect public health made alcohol more dangerous than ever. Between 1920 and 1933, blindness and death from methanol poisoning surged because unregulated distillation lacked safety controls. The Iron Law taught governments a bitter lesson when pleasure is banned. Markets distill it into something more potent and more lethal. After the 21st Amendment repealed prohibition, the United States quickly restored alcohol production. But another paradox emerged. The government became an unwilling partner of ethanol. The alcohol industry, generating hundreds of billions of dollars, began contributing massive revenue to national budgets. Sin taxes on beer and spirits provided steady funding for healthcare, education, and social welfare, the very systems tasked with repairing alcohol's consequences. Modern states thus became trapped in golden handcuffs, removed the revenue, and they must find alternative funding sources few as easy to collect as taxes from drinkers. In Japan, alcohol taxes account for nearly 2% of government revenue. In the United Kingdom, every pint contributes to public healthcare funds. Governments therefore occupy a morally ambiguous position, warning about alcohol's dangers while simultaneously profiting from it. Public health and financial interests become entangled within the same supply chain. Return now to Gorbachev's Soviet Union. Within a single year, the anti-alcohol campaign cut vodka revenue, previously 15% of the state budget, by half. Citizens bought up sugar to distill illegal alcohol, causing food shortages. Stores emptied, sugar prices tripled, and black markets exploded. Ironically, the government printed more money to cover budget deficits,
the rising revenue
fueling inflation.
Here, the threat
Worse
remains
still,
severe.
the reformers' credibility collapsed. On the streets, people mockingly nicknamed Gorbachev the Mineral Water Secretary. But this was not merely a political failure. It exposed a deeper relationship between power and addiction when a political system attempts to purify humanity. Yet humanity itself is the flawed software within that system, from America to Russia, from morality to economics. Every prohibition experiment collapsed for the same reason. Ethanol does not exist only in bottles. It lives in DNA, in culture, and in national budgets. History proves that a state can ban behavior, but it cannot ban instinct. From the 18th Amendment to Gorbachev's decrees, attempts to control ethanol consistently ended,
right here. Thank
with
you.
underground markets rising and state authority weakening. Alcohol, at its core, becomes the most honest measure of a society, the point where biology, ethics, and economics intersect. And each time power tries to purify humanity, ethanol reminds us of a deeper truth. The flaw in the system lies within the very software of life itself.